Hey guys, welcome to my video on my 2nd anniversary. Yes, so it has been pretty much the time has arrived. Right, time has arrived for 2 years of streaming. And what best not than to talk about pretty much my gacha history, right? From beginning to end, right? I wanted to pretty much do this as my anniversary stream because, you know, I've been playing mostly gachas mainly on the stream, and kind of to catch up on, you know, my journey and let everyone know where I started all the way to where I ended. Now, granted, I'm not gonna go too much details into all of them, but I will give my opinions and thoughts and pretty much how much I believe I spent on each one, or even if I haven't spent any at all, right? Now, granted, this is not a comparison gacha tier list, right? Which means that not saying one is better than the other, but it's just more of all the ones that I've played and why I put them in the categories that I listed. Alright, so let's start off with end of service, right? From bottom to top. So now we're going like the opposite way. Alright, so first off, we're gonna start off with one of my favorite end of service game that I wish it came back. Silver and Blood. I want to start off with this one. So this one, well, okay, it's not end of service. It's just end of service at the moment in the global side. At least from what I've heard. I keep looking it up. I keep getting mixed messages of, oh, it's still live on the east side, or yeah, or it barely is, right? But it is running up somewhere because they're still pumping out content on social media and stuff, right? Like on X and like Reddit and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, well, it feels like it's still alive. It just hasn't came back up yet, and I think the servers are down in January, if I recall. If it's not January, it's somewhere around there, like, yeah, the beginning of the year. So hopefully it comes back. I really do like this game, mostly because of the like the art, right? Like the art, how they model the waifus, and more than that. And some of their endgame content is pretty enjoyable. Now, how much have I spent on Silver and Blood? Blood and Silver. I keep getting those two mixed up. More than 1,000. I kind of made a list, which I'll show a little bit later, of, you know, my spending to some degree, at least in categories. But I would give it a guess 3,000 on Blood and Silver. Yeah. Silver and Blood. Yeah, on Silver and Blood. My bad. Silver and Blood. 3,000. Alright, so that is Silver and Blood. Hopefully it comes back this year, you know. I know it's not a completely end of service. It's just down for a long maintenance. Alright, next game is another one that I really like, even though a lot of people, for some reason, don't really like, is Rudimental White Shadow. Rudimental White Shadow. Oh, and also I played both of these games. So pretty much all of these games, well, at least I'll say 80% of these games, of these gacha games, I played ever since release. Yeah, so there's only like a couple or a handful that I did not play on release, right? So, and I'll also mention which gachas that I started off with too, just in case people might get confused of where, like, because I'm going through from bottom to top, it's gonna be auto order. But anyways, back to Rudimental White Shadow. So, first things first, I really like this game. Now, granted, even though I say I liked it, I wasn't able to kind of play it too much because there was also other gacha games that had a little bit higher priority. But in the end, I was not expecting it to end of service because I wanted to. It's more like this was like my casual, somewhat open world turn-based game that I wanted to play like when I have extra free time. Right? Extra free time on a gacha game. Like, what are the odds of that? And I'll just give you guys a simple breakdown of it. think of it like a Final Fantasy, a turn-based Final Fantasy open world game. Yeah, that's the feeling that I had when I was playing Room into My Shell. Well, with really hot girls, right? Really hot girls. It's kind of a collect. If I recall, I've only spent. Oh, actually, I didn't beat the main story, or I caught up with the main story before they shut it down. But I believe I only spent, I would say 700. I'm pretty sure it wasn't over 1,000. I'm pretty sure, because I did bought some of the beach skins they had before, the game was gone forever. I mean, it might come back. These two games are the only two games that they're like, they might come back. Well, for sure, Silver and Blood. Silver and Blood have a higher chance. But Rudimental White Shadow, they're reworking. Well, actually, they're changing companies or whatever. Yeah, they give it to another company to kind of work on it. So there's a chance it might come back or even be rebranded. Who knows? But Rudimental White Shadow, I like it. If you guys are interested in it too, or want to know what it is, just check it out on YouTube or online, and they should show some fun. Fortunately, it's done at the moment. What else? Oh, I guess I'll give them my quick rating too, just in case people are curious, right? Even though these are end of service, so it's not like it really matters too much. But obviously, Silver and Blood, I give it like a 7.5, and Rudimental White Shadow, I give it more like a 7, because there's some issues. There's some small issues with it, but it's not enough to say that like it bothered me that much. Okay, next one. Where are you at? Black Beacon. So this one, I was curious with it because it was, I believe, ex-developers of Kuro Games. Well, yeah, and they want to make this game, and also like I wanted to try out, what new kind of gacha idea they kind of cooked up to see if it will work or not. Now, granted, I did have a feeling even before like playing it when it got released. I was like, it looks pretty bad, but I'm willing to give it a shot to see where it goes. Because sometimes, even though if it looks bad and stuff, maybe the story might make up for it, or maybe the combat, or maybe just the characters and how they look and stuff, especially the waifus. Yeah, Black Beacon, it died it died just as soon as it released, right? It didn't last that long on the shelf life. This game is one of my free-to-play games. I didn't spend any money on it. I did get the... Okay, so one of the controversies, to some extent, is that there were issues, I believe, with Black Beacon, and then the East Side got the free 5-star selector and I think extra rewards, while the Global didn't get any of that, right? And then pretty much people complained, right? Even the East complained that Global didn't also get the same like respect or rewards. And then Black Beacon finally caved in and gave it to Global. But that was pretty much near the end of Black Beacon shelf life, right? So even if we got the free selector, which I did pick up, and I think I didn't even use, I just picked it up, right? Yeah, it just ended service. Now I just want to. So pretty much what I'm saying, I just bought that up because Black Beacon did have issues, and the low player count and stuff, and also that too, it was only on Google Play. So the only way I could play it was on Google Play. Like they didn't have pretty much any better source to kind of play it on, and the Google Play controls was pretty much ass. It was really bad. But yeah, yeah, and also to my take, the story was not engaging enough. Like it was really bad that I'm like, you know what, it's not for me. At least I gave it a shot. Like I would say I gave it 2 streams, right? 2 streams. So maybe 4 hours, maybe 4 hours of Black Beacon, and that was it. Yeah, Black Beacon rating, I don't want to say 3, but I am leaning on 3. Yeah, I'll say 3 out of 10. Yeah, 3 out of 10. Okay, next game. So this is actually my first gacha game that I actually played. Exo's Heroes. At first I didn't even know it was a gacha game. I was like, oh, free game. Free game. Like, why would you pass up on a free game? Especially on a phone, right? Yeah, so what year did I don't remember exactly what year I downloaded it. All I know is it was the same year Pokemon Go. Or at least around the same year. Pokemon Go was either about to release or the year that it was released. Yeah. So actually, you know what? Let me just ask the internet. When did Pokemon Go release? Yeah, so 2016, July 6, 2016. All right, so pretty much let's just put that as a date. Right, 2016 was when I started my gacha journey. Granted, it was a really slow start, and Exo's Heroes was one of them. Now, granted, I don't remember much about this game besides some of the girls. I think even the main girl was pretty hot. Besides that, I also wanted, I believe, a turn-based kind of like Final Fantasy like game, right? And it kind of felt that niche, which I didn't even know that there were other games that were very similar, or at least had similar concepts about as well. So I just picked Exo's Heroes, and yeah, I just tried it out. I didn't play it for long. I didn't spend any money on it. I would even say I've only played it for like 2 hours as well, maybe 3 hours, and I didn't really get anywhere. And I remember trying to understand the elemental system or the elemental weakness type of combination. It wasn't really clicking for me, especially since I was really new to gacha at that time. If I were to rate it now, from what I could recall of whatever I played, I would give it a 4. I would give it a 4, only because I haven't really gotten that far in the game. Like, I'm probably sure I was still like in the beginning. Yeah, but I do remember there was already a lot of characters when I looked at their character roster. So yeah, for sure, it was probably a game that was out for a couple of years. All right, next, that's all of the end of service one. All right, barely played. Let's go with and also I'm going from like the closest one to pretty much like end of service, barely played, hanging on a thread, love-hate relationship, and have high hopes for. Like, the closer they are to those, the more I'm more leaning towards them, right, in favor. The farther away they are, well, the more I have a higher chance of them dropping down, like the tier list, or like stop playing, right. All right, right now for some reason my nose is getting in the way. Alright, let's continue. Go right to it. Solo Leveling Arise. Now for this one, free to play, baby. Free to play. I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit of a story why I picked up this game to play. Now granted, I didn't play this one when it was launched, right? Just like Exo's Heroes, right? Now, Solo Leveling Arise, I picked it up to try it out because my best friend, I believe he started watching the anime and he really liked it. At least, this was when season 1 came out. And season 2 was, I think, airing at the time. And he really liked it. So he started, but he was kind of impatient. So he started reading the manhwa, which he really liked the manhwa as well. And then he's like, oh, there's a gacha game, or at least a game for Solo Leveling, which is called Solo Leveling Rise. And then he tried out Solo Leveling Rise. And then when we were talking to each other, he mentioned, oh, he started playing a gacha game called Solo Leveling Rise. I'm like, ooh. And a strong IP title, and it's a gacha. That sparks greediness. that sparks like, oh, like cash cow, right? Like which it kind of had a lot of like cash cow predatory pop-ups, right? For you to kind of spend money. But overall, I was like, you know what? I don't want to give it a quick judgment of, oh, you know, it's just there to kind of cash grab people's attention of loving solo leveling, right? Yeah, so I'm like, you know, I'll give it a shot, and I give my take on it if it is what I believe it is. Cutting the story short, yeah, it definitely was not as cash cow as it kind of felt. Now, granted, it was a little tedious. Still, like the grinding was a little still tedious, and it wasn't really that entertaining. But overall, I'll say they got the character models pretty much near perfect. They got I guess even they got like the settings, the combat, and even like how some of the weapons look. Like it looks like, I'm saying it's not. I guess I'll give the rating right now. It's like a 7 out of 10. Right. Now, granted, I know that there's I think a playable game now that's like, I think like pay to play, right? Well, pay. Like it's pretty much its own game now. That's not gacha. Yeah. So now there's two types of solo leveling arises. There's one that's a gacha and one that's just a regular game. Yeah. I don't know why. People, maybe because they were trying to not have a bad rep of going the gacha route, so they just made their own like game. But that's all I pretty much gotta say with it. So yeah, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Mostly just tried it out because my best friend really likes solo leveling, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not the biggest fan of solo leveling, but I'll still give it a shot. At least the gacha game, right? The gacha game for sure. All right, next. All right, free game. So this is also a free to play game. Cookie Run Kingdom. Like when I saw it, I'm like, it's silly. It's silly, but they put a lot of effort into this cookie game, right? Cookie game. Now, what type of style? I guess this is more like an idle game type of style, where you just leave it like do its own stuff and walk away, or put it on the side and type of stuff like that. Now, there are a couple idle gacha games that I play, but this is probably one of my main idle games that I was playing, right? That's why it's in the barely played list. Barely played tier list. Well, the only reason why I pretty much dropped it or barely played it is because there wasn't really much for me. Like, for sure, I'm more for pulling the characters, but they're all cookies. Like, even the girl cookies, I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right pulling for them or going for them with the free resources that I've collected. Granted, I'm not knocking any of the other stuff, right? Like the story, the comedy, even like I really like their what would you call it? I guess domain building, right? Where you can build your own houses and level up your castle and get your rewards and stuff, and even see the little cookies like at least like look like they're alive, right? They're alive on your domain. Right? And you can visit other people's domain and build your own. I don't know. There's so much. That's what I'm saying. They put a lot of effort in such a funny concept. That I'm like, you know what? I'll give them the praise for it. I'll give them the props for it. The respect that they deserve. I give Cookie Run Kingdom 7 out of 10. Yeah. I don't remember too much issues with Cookie Run Kingdom that I can recall. Alright, next one. COA. Crystals of Atlan. I played. Oh, also, I didn't play Cookie Run when it came out. Just in case I didn't mention that. COA, Crystal of Atlan. I did play this one when it launched. I actually thought it wasn't a bad game. It's kind of, the gacha system's a little bit more cosmetic, not caring for characters or waifus. But if that's the route they want to go, then that's fine. There are a lot of games I have here that go for cosmetic instead of, pulling for characters or weapons. Now, I didn't play COA for that long. I played it. How many times? Do I even have it? I don't really want to. I guess I can just pop it up quick and check, because I have COA. I believe I have COA on Steam. No, I don't. I think I remember. Well, anyways, if I were to take a guess on how long I played COA, maybe like 9 hours. Yeah, free to play. Free to play, just in case I didn't mention it. I feel like it was fine. Granted, there was a lot of button pressing, button mashing, but overall, it was either average to somewhat below average, but not enough for me to say that, oh, like, it's not really worth my time to keep playing it. Yeah, I would say that I have more higher hopes for it than, you know, where it is at the moment, but at the same time, priority, it's not up there. But maybe I'll come back and check it out here and there. Alright, cause it does play a little bit more of, I think COA, like right now, COA is like kind of like a gacha slash MMO kind of feel, because you can kind of see other people in the overworld. Alright, and I give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Alright, next game. Oh, Blue Protocol Star Resonance. Oh my gosh. Okay, Blue Protocol Star Resonance. To me, I would say it's very similar to COA, Crystal Battleland. In the gacha aspect, they pull for cosmetic as well. Now, truth is, Blue Protocol was in pretty much in the race of Genshin Impact when they were announced and kind of were upcoming gacha games that people were looking forward to. Unfortunately, Genshin came out first, which took mainstream storm, right? Took the gacha in the storm, right? So pretty much they hit the mark. While Blue Protocol kind of fell behind. And by the time Blue Protocol came out, yeah, they pretty much shut it down. Not too long. And then now they revised it to Blue Protocol Star Resonance. Alright, so that's just a quick summary of it. At least what I can recall. Yeah, pretty much I would say, now granted, I'm generalizing it, but it kind of plays kind of similar to COA, or at least it has vibes. Vibes are similar. Maybe not actually combat 1-to-1, but it has somewhat similar vibes. In fact, I would even say character models are a little worse than COA, in my opinion. And they weren't really sticking out. The story was different from the original Blue Protocol, so I was disappointed in that, which also means that there was nothing interesting in the story. The combat was lackluster. I didn't really feel engaged compared to COA, where even though I just button match in COA, that's still more fun than Blue Protocol Star Resonance. And what else? And there was just nothing interesting at all. Now, maybe it's just not a game for me, because it still was when compared to COA, like a MMO slash gacha type game. So, you know, I mean, people like it right now. I believe people even prefer it over COA, but yeah, now that's what people want, then that's fine. But it's not for me. So I give Blue Protocol 3 out of 10. Yeah, 3 out of 10. Still playable, but alright, next one. This one, man, I don't even. It's always so hard to pronounce this game. Orisaries. Alright, Orisaries. Gacha game, Orisaries. This one, technically I found out through YouTube, right? Some YouTuber, I'll just throw in the name. Genazad. Yeah, Genazad was the one that I saw his video on it, and I was like, ooh, dude, this feels fun. Feels like a fun game through his video. And then when I downloaded it and played it, I'm like, oh, sir, well, season's over. You can't kind of play. You know, like, okay. And then eventually, when I waited enough for season to kind of come back up for me to try it out, I'm like, ooh, it's a little, it's kind of weird. It's not as straightforward as other gacha games. At least that's how I feel. I feel like newcomers, if they get lost, like me, they're just gonna lose interest and quit. Yeah. So in the beginning, like maybe 30 minutes, it was kind of interesting. But after that, it's the same routine of, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't even know how to even, I don't even know what the heck, yeah, pretty much, I don't know what I'm doing. right? And in the end, I just gave up. But I still want to put on this because it is still one of the gacha games I've played, right, throughout my history. Yeah, so technically I dropped it, right? It's just that technically I dropped it. I don't think I'm gonna come back to it, and I just give the rating. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 only because I didn't really get far, and I don't really know where to get to the fun parts of the game, right? Well, the fun part is pretty much capturing enemy waifus and pretty much torture them for information, right? Yeah, that was like the fun part that I couldn't really do, right? But yeah, that's it for Wrist to Wrist. All right, next is Horizon Walker. I'll just shoot it straight. Less than an hour of playing the game. I mean, if you guys, pretty much it's just because hot waifus, but a little too unbelievable, like a little bit too in the hentai range. And I'm like, you know what? It's almost like there's a fine line of if they cross it, it's too much. Which I'm like, nah. Now you're kind of pushing it too much. Where you're like the type of audience you're targeting is a little too niche that it might not work out in the long run. And that's how it kind of felt for me. So I did play it when it launched, and yeah, for like 30 minutes. It didn't really, like, the intro, the beginning didn't really catch me, didn't really draw my attention. Even though the first limited character for the game was really hot. I think I tried pulling for her. Maybe I even got her. I'm not even too sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to say other than they went a little bit over the edge for a specific type of audience, and I'm like, you know what, it's not for me. So good luck for that game. Gameplay, I mean, combat wise, wasn't really for me, and yeah, and then that's it. I don't really have too much to say. If I had to rate it, because I only gave it 30 minutes, it might not be like a fair rating, but I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Yeah. Alright, next. Persona 5 Phantom X. This one I gave like one stream when it launched globally, because it launched like a couple years before in the East. But when it got on global release, I gave it one stream, probably 3 hours, right? 2 or 3 hours of this game, and I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. I'm not really a Persona type person too, so I never played any of the Persona games. I've only watched Persona 4, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. Persona 4 was fine, but for some reason it just doesn't really capture my attention, so I just dropped it. And also, none of the characters in Persona 5 Phantom X, like they weren't really interesting enough for me to pull. It just looked like they were just characters that with different skins, and which means they have different abilities, or depending on the type of skin that they wear. That's pretty much how I saw it. Did I give it a rating already? Well, rating 4 out of 10. To be honest, I'll go 4 out of 10. Alright, Pokemon Masters EX. This is my second gacha game that I played after Exo's Heroes, right? Pokemon Masters EX. Now, obviously, I played it because I love playing Pokemon, right? On my channel, I played plenty of Pokemon Nuzlocke games, yeah, like I was like, oh, you know what, Pokemon. But Pokemon Gacha, but pretty much you're not collecting the Pokemon, you're collecting the trainers or the gym leaders, the waifu gym leaders especially. I didn't play for too long, but and if I didn't mention, starting from actually all of these are free to play. Yeah, actually all of these games are free to play. I just forgot to mention if I spent money on them. Yeah, so far on the barely played list, all of these are free to play. But yeah, Pokemon Masters, well, except for Pokemon Masters. That's what I was alluding to. That's what I was leading to. Pokemon Masters was not free to play. I spent There's two numbers I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of 300 and I'm thinking of 900. But 900 feels a little too far stretch, so let's go in the middle. I think I spent like 600. 600 on Pokemon Masters. Yeah, and Buyer's Remorse, right? Pretty much, I kind of regret spending on it because it didn't really go anywhere, but at least it gave me the, I guess, experience of spending money in gacha games. Probably Pokemon Master EX was my first gacha game that I spent money on. I would say that because I didn't spend it on the Exos Heroes. So it is like it is. I guess it is what it is. That's where my journey of swiping started. Pokemon Masters EX. Yeah. So I gave it. I would say I played the game for like maximum 2 months. Right now, not back to back, right? But maximum throughout my years of playing the game, like about 2 months. What else? And rating for the game. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Because I recently went back to like check up on any new stuff. They added a lot more content in it, but it still wasn't engaging enough for me to kind of like pretty much pick up and play again. What else is there? Okay, I guess we're done with Barely Played. Now we're gonna go to the next one. Honkai Star Rail from Hoyoverse. Hang on the thread now, right? So starting the list of hang on the thread. So, I played this one since launch. I'm still somewhat playing it, right? That's what it says, hang on the thread. I guess I'll start off with, I'm not really a turn-based type of player. Now, granted, there are some turn-based games down here, right? But I feel like they're kind of like an exception compared to Honkai Star Rail. But overall, in the beginning, from Bellabog to what was the last one? I think Penacony. From Penacony, yeah, because after Penacony is when I stopped playing. Well, at least I barely played. Well, at least, especially the story. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, I pretty much I did have fun with the combat or whatever you can kind of do with it. Even the daily grind, it wasn't that bad. But in the long run, it just wasn't really working out for me. Like, even though the girls are really really hard to collect, it just wasn't really hitting the niche. Right? It's really hitting the niche. Like the turn base is it was just a little too much. No matter how many times they try to spice it up and change it up. But for sure, I'm still playing it here and there whenever I feel like it. And I would even say the last character I got, actually, who was it? Oh, well, I know for sure Celine, Cyrene, I think that's her name. She was one of the last characters I got. I'm not too sure if she was the very last one I got. For some reason, I feel like I pulled someone else, but yeah, that's the one I can recall at the moment. Now, how much I spent on Honkai Star Rail? More than 1,000, less than 4,000. So ballpark guess 3,000. I'll say like, okay, 2,500. I'll say 2,500, 2,500. Because I know for sure there's only one character that I chose to max out, max dupe, which was Kafka. Yeah, Kafka, because she's really hot. She's really strong. I think she's still somewhat passable even today, because she's a dot user, but she was the only one I pretty much maxed out copies. So yeah, 2,500 Honkai Star Rail. And now it's hanging on a thread. So money well spent, right? Money well spent. All right, next game. Wait, did I give it a rating? No, I didn't give it a rating. Honkai Star Rail, I'll give it a 6. Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next game, Girls Frontline 2. Girls Frontline 2. So, I played this one since it launched globally. I believe it launched in the East before it was released globally. But when it released globally, I was also one of the ones who played it when it released. Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to play this game, for sure, was combat style. It was like XCOM, Mario and Rabbids type of style, right? Now, I was hoping that would be like the main carry. Well, one of the main carries besides pulling for the waifus. Granted, it lasted long enough. Now, I pretty much what I was saying is, it wasn't as technical or as, you know, as, well, how would you say it? It wasn't as strategic as I was hoping it to be. It does do its job, and for sure, it's like expecting a gacha game to be very thorough and, you know, using like tactics and stuff. It's a little bit too much to kind of call for. But yeah, like that was one of the main reasons. Fortunately, it kind of flopped on that part, so that I just had to rely on the girls, pulling for the girls to carry it. They can only do so much, so that's why it's hanging on the thread. Granted, I don't really have too much issues with it. Even the dailies isn't that bad. The thing is that the gameplay for sure was one of the things I was looking forward for, and it just didn't hit them. It just didn't hit the mark. Yeah, sadly it didn't hit the mark, so it's hanging on a thread. And also, I'll give my, how much did I spend on the game? 2,000? Less than Star Rail for sure. I would say if it's not, well, if it's not 2,000, it's almost 2,000. Yeah, almost $2,000. I didn't max out any. Yeah, I didn't max out any characters. But yeah, that is it for Ghost Line 2. Alright, next, AFK Journey. Ooh, okay, AFK Journey. Well, one of the reasons I played, did I play on launch? I believe so. I believe I played AFK Journey on launch. It's been so long, right? It's been so long. But yeah, I also believe I played AFK Journey on launch. I guess this is, I would say, no, let me make sure. Yeah, I guess I would say this is one of my, like, I guess, oh no, I know this isn't my main. This is my second main idle game, right, for AFK Journey. Granted, it's not really that much of an idle game to some extent, but it does have aspects of it, a lot of it, so in a way that kind of consider it as an idle game. But okay, let's cut to the chase. AFK Journey, a lot of hot waifus, a lot of characters, combat straightforward, simple, and leveling up. Like everything that's like, it's everything, like if you want to turn off your brain, like AFK Journey is really good. Like, it's really good at that. Now the only issues I have AFK Journey, the only issues I have with AFK Journey is the dailies is a little tedious. There's a lot of menus you gotta go through, and there's a lot of daily stuff you gotta do. Now, truth is, more dailies, more rewards. That's true. But more dailies, more rewards, and if you have other gachas you gotta do as well, yeah, it starts to become more tedious. So yeah, that's kind of why it's hanging on a thread. And I'll say the last collab characters I pulled for, and I even maxed out, was the Fairy Tail one, because Fairy Tail was, I guess I would say, one of my top like animes that I really like. So I pulled for Natsu and Lucy. Yeah, I maxed out Natsu. I'm pretty sure I maxed out my Natsu. At least if I didn't really max him out, I got him close enough to be maxed out. And then obviously Lucy's maxed out, because she's like a, I think like a purple cost or like a lower cost, and like an SR compared to an SSR like Natsu. How much did I spend on the game? Ooh. I was about to say 3,000, but for some reason I'm like, that's a little too much. 2,000. I'll say 2,000. Yeah, 2,000 for AFK Journey. Great game. Great game. All right, next game. Arknights and Field. Ooh. This one would have been in this category, but I'm like, nah, it's hanging on a thread now. Okay, Arknights and Field, it came out this year, near the end of January. Now, I don't want to talk too long with this game. I'll just cut it straight and simple. I like the factory. I just hate spending too much time on the factory that I don't have enough time doing anything else, like farming for character mats, or progressing through the story, or side quests to gain more resources to pull for characters or pull for whatever, right? Yeah, so that's one of my major complaints of the game. For some reason, they just can't really balance that. And the truth is like, why don't I just not play the factory and just play through the other stuff, you know, and try to bounce back? Well, unfortunately, the factory also ties into the resources to increase your character's pretty much stats. So I'm like, make up your mind. Yeah, so that's one of the most grindingest, like, tedious thing that I don't like about Arknights Enfield. That is, oh, and I guess that's one of the major ones. And the second major one is the story sucks. At least I would say how they execute it, or how they tell the story is really bad. Now granted, it's a gacha game, so why was I expecting a 10 out of 10 story? It's like, that's not what I'm kind of saying. I'm saying at least make it believable enough for me to want to pull for the signature characters or the limited characters that they're selling. They do a bad job with that too, right? The last character I pulled was Zhang Fangyi, I believe. Wu Ling's like leader, right? Badass girl boss, right? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. How much money I spent on Arknights Enfield? If I were to take a guess, 2,000. Like 2,000 is probably gonna be like the sweet spot, but I'll say 2,000 because I maxed out Levitate, which I call her Leviathan, and I pulled. For some reason, I was spending some money on pulling the standard banner because I really want a last right, which they never gave me a last right until I had to choose it from the selector banner. Yeah, but I mean that's all I gotta say. Try to rate Arknights Enfield. If I were to rate it right now, 4 out of 10. Yeah, 4 out of 10. To be honest, 4 out of 10. Alright, next game. Lost Sword. Alright. I'll make it short and sweet and simple. I like this game. I like this game a lot. Another idle game. Especially for the waifus, right? Waifus carry it a lot. And I feel like it's a pretty generous game for collecting resources for pulls. Granted, if I recall, I don't think they really have a pity system, so you're out of luck hoping to get the character that you wanted. Because I don't think they have a guarantee system. Not that I recall, at least for the limited characters that they're advertising. Yeah, but overall, I like it. Idle game, leave it playing. You know, nice death animation as well. When the girls like they die, they strike a pose. What else is there? I mean, I didn't really care too much about the story, so I mostly skipped it. But yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say. It's straightforward. Obviously, I played it for the idol animation, the idol plays, and the characters, right? The girl waifus. Straightforward, simple. Nothing really wrong with it. Give it a rating. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Lost Sword. Alright, next game. Oh, there you are. Cat Fantasy. So, when this game was about to release, people were shit-talking it. And now I was like, why? Why? When the game released... No, actually, no. I messed up the order. When the game was about to release, some people were interested in it because it's all about cat waifus, right? And it's almost like one of the strongest selling points in a game. At least especially for a gacha game. I was excited for it too, but I did decide to leave it on the side and wait for it to kind of build like maybe momentum or whatever, because I had other gacha games I was prioritizing. And then when the game released about a couple weeks later, people were talking trash about it, and I'm like, what the hell? Like it says cat fantasy. How can it be bad? So I wanted to kind of like test out cat fantasy if, you know, these like opinions or takes were true or not, because they were bashing the game like really hard. So you know what, it was a game I was looking forward to kind of playing too, so I picked it up like I think 2 or 3 weeks after it was launched, and yeah, I really liked it. I even well, now I don't think I have all the characters, but at one point I did. Like, I was like keeping up with the game. I really like it. It's straightforward, simple. Yes, very lewd as well. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to kind of say. Like, I have a couple of VODs or stream VODs, I guess, of Cat Fantasy, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I pretty there was nothing really wrong with it. Out of all the complaints from that I read of Cat Fantasy before playing it, I'm like, no, like they're just comparing a niche Cat Fantasy game, gacha game, to a top 10 gacha game. It's like that's not really like a fair comparison, right? Like you're saying like Cat Fantasy should be a top 10 gacha game. Now it could be, maybe one day, or maybe not this Cat Fantasy game, but another gacha game. But for sure, it delivered what it promised to its audience, like its niche audience, and I'm one of them, I would say. Now, granted, it's hanging on a thread because too many gacha games, so it's hard to kind of like keep up with all the dailies. But yeah, for sure, I do drop by here and there to check it out. Rating on the Cat Fantasy game, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. A little bit more leaning towards bias, but yeah, that's my honest opinion of Cat Fantasy. All right, next game, PGR, Punishing Gray Raven. Punishing Gray Raven. There's only one reason I played it. Now it was really recent, or at least I started playing it recently, but it was because because when they had a Devil May Cry collab, I wanted Dante and Virgil. That was it. That was the only reason why I downloaded and played it. Unfortunately for me, when they released the Dante and Virgil collab, it was only for China at the moment, or on the East at the moment, and not globally. So I downloaded and played it for, the wrong timing, right? But when I did play it, at the wrong timing, I did spend. Oh, I totally forgot about Cat Fantasy spending too. Well, I'll jump back to it after PGR. I did spend 300 on PGR. What is her name? Is it like Ismar? Ismar? Yeah, this one. Yeah, so I pulled for this one. Yeah, so like when she was released, hey, sneak peek. When she was released in PGR, that was when I downloaded the game, and yeah, I pulled for her $300. I believe I only pulled one copy, and I believe one copy for weapon too. But I'm not too sure about her weapon. Besides that, that's the story of PGR. If I were to give it a rating, trust me, I barely played it, so my rating is not gonna be like accurate. But I give it like a 5 out of 10. Right? No, actually a 4 out of 10. Because I do kind of remember the combat system. Even though it looked fun, it looked confusing at the same time. Because you gotta follow there was like these 3 buttons you gotta press, and depending upon the color and the combinations, like they I don't know, they do like more damage or less damage or whatever. Yeah, but I didn't really get too deep into it, so that's why I'm like, that's the best I can leave at. All right, so next game, last one for hanging on the thread. All right, for the tier. Ooh, Duet Night Abyss. To be honest, this game, I only played it. I did play it on launch. Actually, my bad. Before we go to Duet Night Abyss, let's go back to Cat Fantasy. How much I spent on Cat Fantasy? Right, because I forgot that's how much. Yeah, I forgot to mention. Amount I spent for Cat Fantasy, 2,500. My ballpark guess, 2,500. Yeah, 2,500. All right, PGR. I mean, not PGR. Duet Night Abyss. Duet Night Abyss. I only played it because I was curious with the shooting system. you know, like the girls with guns, and they had dual type weapons, right? So like a melee and a pretty much a gun. Right? So I'm like, yeah. So pretty much it's like Warframe, right? People keep mentioning like, oh, it's like Warframe but Gacha. I'm like, I barely ever even touched Warframe, so I don't know much about Warframe. And now they want to make out the Gacha. Well, let's try it out. Well, unfortunately, what I was hoping for was the combat to be enjoyable and the story to be interesting and fun, right? Unique, interesting, and fun. Unfortunately, those two kind of failed me, especially the story, in my opinion. Okay, so I've only played through 1.1, right? 1.0 to 1.1. And like storyline, and to me it was ass. Like it was so bad, but I still gotta get through it just to give like a take on it. Now, what did I like about it? I don't know. Like, for example, they took away my favorite character at the moment, which is Barry, right? They took away Barry, the sister of pretty much our character that we play, and I never saw her again. Yeah, she's just gone. We don't know if she's dead. We don't know if she's being tortured by the enemy. We don't know. But for some reason, we can also play one of the enemies, which was that girl with the extended whip, right? Extended whip. Yeah. I'm bad at names, so that's the best I'll call her. But yeah, so pretty much doing Out Abyss, because those two failed me, the story and the combat. I was like, nah, it's not for me. I guess if I were to praise one thing about the game, I do like their bunny hop, right? When I press the number 4 on my keyboard, like they kind of like hop forward or like leap forward, which is really fun, right? Which is faster than running and walking. That's my best honest respect for the game. At the moment, maybe I'll come back and play the game. Right now, I do have it uninstalled because of the crazy hacks that happened, like the first couple of months about the game. So I'm kind of leaving it to kind of recover a little bit. Maybe in the near future, I'll pick it up again and see if the story got better, combat got better, or anything has even improved in the game. What else? Alright, so now we're done with hanging on the thread. We're gonna move to the next tier, but I'm gonna lower the music just a little bit. Alright. So next, we're gonna start off with Ethereal Restart. Ooh, I guess right now, my number 1 idle game, right? I still play it. Granted, the idle isn't that long, but it's like, yeah. Main reason why I'm playing it, the girls are hot. that is like the main aspect of it. So if they lose that aspect of the game, or they start to downgrade for making the girls like less hot, less revealing, then they probably gonna lose me. They probably lose me as one of their players, right? One of their payers, players and payers. Right away, like combat, I don't care. I just put on auto. Like if you were to give me to manual play Ethereal Restart, I would not know what to do. Everything's on auto. Everything is auto for sure. And I only do like all the auto stuff. Like even the dailies where you're supposed to play the characters manually, it's like, nah, I skip them. Like it's too tedious. It's too much work. The only manual control that I do is one of the daily, like one of the, I think like weekly content resets, where like you have to kind of like travel through each zone. Kind of similar to, what's it called? Kind of similar to like, well, pretty much you just travel through each section to reach a boss, and then you collect the rewards to exchange it for like, I don't know, like more rewards, stuff like that. It's hard to explain, but anyways, if they restart, that's mainly why I'm playing it, for the waifu collection. I have just about, I will say, 85% of the characters. Granted, I don't pull for the guys. I pretty much stopped pulling for the guys The only time I pulled for them was because they were like really heavy meta or very useful. But I kind of stopped. I just decided to pull for the girls, right? And the last character I pulled for was the recently released Sharon, which is really hot. How much money have I spent on their restart? Ooh, this one's gonna be tricky. At first, I want to say 3,000, but I'm like, that's giving it a little bit too much credit. I'll give it even 2,000 sounds. I'll give it 2,500. Yeah, I spent like 2,500 on their restart. Yeah, I know for sure. My first like week of playing, I dropped 11 to 1,200. So you know, that's like about halfway. Halfway of my 2,500. I give it my rating for the game. I give it a 6 out of 10. For sure, I feel like it's not for everyone, but at the same time, like I guess maybe I'm just a little bit more biased, right? It's a little bit more favored, to me since it's my #1 idol game that I play like daily, at least for the daily grind. All right, next game, NTE. Oh, also I forgot. The reason why their restart is on love and hate relationship is because I guess I kind of did explain it. The only thing I love about it is the waifus, the combat and all the stuff. They're mediocre, and the thing I hate about it is that there's not really much else that I really want to do in the game. Their restart. Wow, their restart. All right, Neverness to Everness, NTE. So NTE, we put this in love and hate relationship. So in the beginning, I was having lower expectations for the game. I would say, oh yeah, also I played these two games when they released it, just in case people might get it mixed up. Oh yeah, so Neverness to Everness, I came in as a 4 out of 10, maybe 5 out of 10, right? Hoping that that's where it's gonna be leaning at. It kind of like it wasn't. It was definitely better. I would say right now. I mean, I'll just give the rating right now. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, pushing to 7, but 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Now, well, what are the reasons? So what I like about it is it does have the GTA feel, which I do like playing GTA, right? So I'm like, yeah, like it has that familiarity. Most of the girls are pretty hot. I take that too, especially the upcoming ones, or at least yeah. I feel like they got that down really well. So the waifu collecting is really good. What else is there? Oh, the bond system. I like it. Granted, I don't really have too much use for it, so it's like an option. Like if you want to interact with it, you can. You know. What else is there? Actually, I believe that's it. Everything else is pretty much like mediocre to like to like really bad. Alright, so I guess first thing I'll mention is there's 2 stamina systems. There's a city stamina and there's the regular like material grinding stamina. City stamina, I feel like it's garbage. Like I feel like having it is so dumb. Now granted, it's to collect bonds, but I feel like it's extra stamina or extra work to just do that. It's just like you can still have the city stamina to do whatever stuff you want to do with it, but at least allow us to convert it to regular stamina where we can spend it on like mats and stuff. Because I feel like city stamina is the least used, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying when they're just sitting there capped, and then it's like forcing you or trying to bait you into using them. And I'm like, nah, I'm like, these endgame loops for city stamina is very boring, and it's not interesting. Now the truth is, you don't have to use them. You can just skip them. But to me, I feel like then that's a part of the endgame system that makes people play the game less, which is not really a good thing, right? Because the more people play the game, the higher chance of them spending money on it. Like this idiot, right? So obviously in the game, I did max out 2 characters, the 2 limited one, Natalie and Hitori. Pretty much the boss lady, right? Yeah, which I believe she's still like on banner at the moment. But yeah. What another thing is? Oh yeah, story sucks. Yeah, story is really bad. Okay, how about this? It's not like it's bad, but it's just how they execute the story, how they tell the story, the vibes of the story, like everything else. It's all like the story works, but how they present it is garbage. like they don't know how to like maximize their the people's attention span on focusing, feeling that the story would matter. Now, granted, maybe that is their goal. Well, who knows, right? But for sure, they have the same like issue as a lot of other gachas that I have here. At least for stories, right? Yeah. So besides that, I'll give my rating. Neverness, 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. How much money I spent on it? 2,000? Yes, 2,000. Might be just a tad more, like 2,200, but I'll give it 2,000. Alright, that's it for tea. Huh? Oh. Star Savior. Okay, Star Savior. Ooh, this one's gonna be a little bit of a doozy. I'll start off with, it's a jack of all trades, master of none. Now, truth is it? Not really, but it does feel like it, especially if you play a lot of gacha games. Now, I can understand if this is the first gacha game that people decide to play, then I'm like, okay, sure. I can kind of understand where they're coming from, but if they played other gacha games that have similarities to Star Savior, then I'm like, well, it is like that's why I gave it that saying. Okay, so pretty much Star Savior. I'll talk about the positives quickly. Waifus are hot. Dailies are a bit annoying, but overall it's not that bad. It's more focused on PvP aspects and the journey aspects of it, which is the Uma Musume type of playstyle. But I'm not really into PvP or the journey stuff, so I'm like, it lost a lot of my respects there. At least to keep coming back to play the game. What else is there? I feel like the polls are really generous as a starter, a newbie, but as of the moment, daily grinds barely really get you anything. Yeah, so it's really predatory if you want to pull for the really hot characters. Yeah, I mean it's all girls too, so I guess that's a good thing. All right. Now, I guess if I were to compare this game to another other game, I'll say Star Savior has similarities to. Do I have it here? Oh, Real Mentor Shadow. Yeah, where it's like PvP and also like stuff in it. But the difference is that Real Mentor Shadow, even though it does have PvP, it's not like the main focus. Like they're not prioritizing, people to, incentivizing them to play it compared to Star Savior. Right? Star Savior is like PvP and journey. If you're not really doing those two, you're not gonna be having too much. There's not really much to do in Star Savior. Yeah, and the thing too is like, well, if they're a restart, it's pretty much PvP heavy as well. But to me, I just play against computer. I just play against computer, and so now playing against computer, like you just skip, right? You can just auto skip, and you skip like 5 times, and you got your reward. Now, the truth is, Star Savior, you can do the same thing too, but the difference is that is just kind of, I don't know. It's just my taste. To be honest, how I'm explaining it, it's just my taste. It's just not for me. I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really a PvP turn-based type of person, right? That's why. So it's a little sad there. But aside from that, I'm still having a love and hate relationship with it. Granted, I would say I promise to not spend any more money on this game because, like, I know in the long run it's gonna drop to hang on a thread to barely play. Right. Okay, I think I already mentioned that I spent 2,500. I believe so. Wait, did I? No. How much did I actually spend on Star Savior? Okay, I would say 2,500. I would say 2,500. If not 2,500, like 2,000. Somewhere in around that ballpark. And I give Star Savior rating, man, 6 out of 10. Like, even though I'm kind of like, I was kind of raving on it, bashing it, I'm like, yeah, it still does its job. So, 6 out of 10. Alright, next game. Snowbreak Containment Bay. Ooh, so I also played this one on launch, just like Star Savior. This one, in the beginning, it was tolerable. Tolerable. Like, I was able to kind of like say, yeah, it's different. It's different. I kind of liked it. In fact, I was actually expecting Duel Night Abyss to be the successor of Snowbreak, right? Snowbreak Containment Bay. Now it wasn't. It wasn't, but at least, you know, now we all know. At least to my experience. But what Snowbreak does right is advertising. Well, ever since their you know, make or break it situation, right? Their turnaround is like selling their waifus, like focusing on the Kumar aspect of it, the gooding aspect of it, you know. What else? Like, I mean, even some of their mini games, like their content, it's definitely gotten better. Now, the only thing why I have a love and hate relationship with it is pulling for the characters is 100 pulls for pity. They're not all guaranteed, but some banners are guaranteed banners. So it's kind of a mix in my opinion. Now, granted, I don't really play it that much, so maybe they changed the rules a little bit on the pulling system. But from the last time I played, I was getting like mixed signals of, oh, sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 100%. And I'm like, I don't know. But overall, like, max pity is 100 pulls, and 100 pulls is a lot. I think 100 pulls is $250. Well, okay, more like $200 for 100 pulls. Yeah, because like $100 is usually 5-10 pulls. So $200 is for one character, right? One character. It might not even be the one you wanted, right? So you could lose a 50-50 if it's the 50-50 banner. What else? I'll just jump straight to... Oh, I guess one of the things I really like about Snowbreak is the dorm system, right? Where you get to hang out with your robot girls, right? Your android girls, your waifus. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the customizing part. Like, if you have a favorite one, then you can just hang out with them, do whatever, you know, play mini games with them, stuff like that. But for sure, that was one of the, I guess, aspects of me why I really like the game. Besides that, combat is fine. It's tolerable. It's fine. What else? I think that's pretty much all I gotta say about Snowbreak. I would say I gave, I guess, how much did I spend on it? Almost 2,000. I don't think I went past 2,000 because I didn't max out any characters. I would say 2,000. I would say 2,000. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. My rating for Snowbreak, 6 out of 10, because it is somewhat niche, but overall, like, it's niche and unique enough that I'm like, people will be fine playing it. All right, next, Aether Gazer. So this one I picked up pretty recently. I would say the beginning of this year. So when I was scrolling through, I'll tell the story. When I was scrolling through Reddit, there was this one character that I saw from Eighth the Gazer on Twitter, Reddit, that I'm like, ooh, she's really fine. She's really hot. I want that character. At first, I did say that she's very revealing and very, tempting. But overall, I kind of gave in. I'm like, oh, you know what? I want this character. What game is she at? And then, and I'm like, oh, she's from Eighth the Gazer. Her name is Celine. Do I still have the picture? Yep, Celine. Yeah, so that's a character model right there. No, this isn't the best camera angle. Let me see if I click this. No, that's YouTube. Yeah, so pretty much, yeah, Celine. Right there. Yeah. Yeah, she's really hot. She's really hot. When I saw her, I'm like, I'm getting her. So, I installed it, and I found out she wasn't one of the limited banners at the moment, and like anywhere to be seen. So, who did I get? I ended up pulling for the gun girl. The cowboy type pistol whip gun girl. I mean, I kind of like it. I forgot her name, but pretty much she was really cool. And then finally, I think Celine came back recently onto the banner. And yeah, I pulled for her. I pulled like, ooh, how many copies? I think I pulled like 4 copies of her. So I pulled 1 copy of her, so I got her. And then I pulled like 3 more copies of her after that. So I was really close to maxing her out. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I did hear that she's not really a main DPS, or at least a main character you control to play, but it's fine. Like, she was the one who I wanted, and she's the one that I got. So, yeah, besides that, that's the story of why I picked up Eighth the Gazer, because of that one character sold it for me. And I would say Eighth the Gazer, just like, they have about average to above average characters, at least waifus to kind of collect. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like other games that I play have better models, better revealing, or more, attention grabbing to kind of pull for. Eighth the Gazer, I'll give them that. They're still up there, but not as much as the ones that I prefer playing right now. But for sure, Celine is definitely like top 5 in Eighth the Gazer, in my opinion. Top 5. Yeah, besides that, I say I've only spent about 15 hours in Eighth the Gazer. So yeah, I'm dabbling back and forth. Whenever I have time, I'll kind of check it out. Play it a little bit here and there. I feel like it's not a bad game. Granted, the waifus are just a little bit on the lower end for me. And, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think so far, because I don't really know too much about the story, what's kind of going on. Most of the time I was skipping it the whole time too. But, okay. At the moment, how much have I spent on the game? 1400. 1400. Oh, is it 1400 though? I feel like that's a little too high. I'll give it 1200. Yeah, I'll say 1200 on Eighth the Gazer. Yeah, because I know for sure 6 to almost 700, well, or maybe even 800 was for Celine. And then the other hundreds was because I pulled for the gun girl, which was probably like $100 or $200. And then like miscellaneous things. For some reason, I tend to spend on miscellaneous things. Yeah, so I'll say about 1200. 1200 or less. Rating for Eighth the Gazer, granted, not really far in the story, not really much. I don't even know what I'm really doing most of the time, but so it could be kind of skewed. Rating, I guess I'll give it a 7. To be honest, I was about to say 6, but I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for Eighth the Gazer. All right, next, let's go with Wizardry Variants Daphne. So, I did not play this one. Well, obviously, it's the same to Eighth the Gazer, right? I did not play this one when it was released. But, I also heard of this game from Genazad as well, just like Orisaurus, wherever it is, just like Orisaurus, right? So yeah, in fact, straightforward game. I don't want to talk too much about this game besides how much I spent on it and where I'm at is so I spent a lot on this game. So this game, the reason why it's a love and hate relationship category, even though I'm not really playing it that much anymore, right? Is just that love and hate is because the polls are predatory. I feel like it took me sometimes even $400 to just get the character, the character that they're advertising, right? For the limited banner one. It's even worse when there's like multiple chances of getting which one that you want. At least from the last time I played. What else is there? So by the way, I spent I would even say 3,000 on that on wizardry. I think if it's not 3,000, it's really close. Well, so 2,500 to 3,000. That's why I have a love and hate relationship. The polls are killer. The last character, I don't remember who the last character I pulled. I know that one of the last characters I pulled was not. She wasn't the very last one that I pulled, but she was pretty close to it. I'll just say the best I can. Water Axe Girl. She's water element. She has an axe, and her special ability is to chuck the axe as hard as possible to the enemy to do like majorly huge damage. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, wizardry definitely. I give wizardry. I mean, I'm kind of stuck in the game because I'm trying to find the shield to beat even like the part 1, and I couldn't find it. So one of the reasons I gave up on it too. But 7 out of 10. I still like it. It's still not a bad game. Granted, one of the things I don't really like about it, is the last thing I'm gonna talk about it, by the way, is you're not able to look at your characters, your waifus, that often or that much. Especially when you're like exploring the dungeons or whatever, right? Alright, next, Uma Musume, Pretty Derby. Okay, so this one, the reason why it's lower on the list of love and hate relationship is because the poll systems is 200 for max pity, right? And also I spent a lot of money on Uma Musume. I spent a lot of money on this Uma Musume game. Okay, so right off the bat, I'll just say how much I spent. Man, I want to say 4,000. I want to say 4,000 because I spent so much. You know what? I'll just give 4,000 for sure. For sure, my number 1 favorite character, which I was waiting for and I pulled for a lot of copies, was Eshen Flash, the maid horse girl, right? She was really cute. I liked her. I pulled for her. I technically maxed her out. I'm just a short few points away to kind of max her out to max stars. But yeah, so she is my favorite. I pulled for her. I probably spent like, how many? 15? 16? No, that's a little too much. Maybe like 1,200. Yeah, because I know I lost pity twice. Like I had to go max pity twice on Eshen Flash, right? Just to get her to like 4 stars. Yeah, because the more stars you try to get, like the more resources you need to collect to max them out. Yeah, which I'm like, I'm not gonna spend another 400 on Eshen Flash. So besides that, yeah, I mean the game is fine. Granted, the racing system is getting more tedious or more specific. That getting a triple S, double S, or even an S is pretty hard. Because you need to do so much on such a gacha game, right? You gotta do the parenting stuff and loving them up right? Getting the right talents and stuff like that, the right skills. But yeah, 4,000. 4,000. Uma Musume. Love and hate relationship. Pretty much the predatory part is the thing I hate about it the most. Alright, and I'll give the rating 6 out of 10. Mostly because of the predatory. Right? Predatory part. Pulling for the girls. Alright, next game. Nikke! Gods of Victory Nikke. Same concept, right? Same concept. Kind of same example of, no, actually, yeah, I did. Because for some reason I was thinking about Girls for Line 2. But yeah, same concept like Musume. Well, concept is in gacha system. The pity system is also 200, like 200 pulls to guarantee what character you want, and also like, yeah, chance of you could get it early or you could not. So I would say Gods of Victory Nikke is actually it's a really good game. You know, I'll just give the rating right now. Gods of Victory Nikke 8 out of 10. Really high. Granted, it's not in the have high hopes for. It leans more on love and hate. It's just the polling. Like, if the polls were more, I don't know, like less predatory, then I'll be a little more fine with it. It is somewhat like idle game territory. Yeah, and the girls are kind of hot. Granted, it's just you watch them shoot from behind, and that's pretty much it. I don't really have too much else to say. Granted, developers, they pay attention to details, making sure the game is fun. Like, for sure, that's one of the reasons why people really like it. Why I like it too. But for sure, pulling for the characters, swiping for the characters is one of my things I hate the most, right? And it's like, well, then just keep up to date so you don't have to swipe. That's true, but the gameplay system isn't really my type of enjoyment. So that's kind of why I just swipe, which is what's hurting me the most. Yeah, so I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think out of all of these, yeah, it's my first 8 out of 10. So, you know, I'd say that's a positive. Now, how much money I spent on Nikke? Oh boy, that's tough. So when I started Nikke, download Nikke, it was when Killer D Wife, I think that's when she came out. Cause like it's her different skin version of her, and that's when she came out. I maxed her out, and then I found out a little bit later she was garbage. But then I'm like, you know what? She's the one that represented when I started the game, and then now she's more decent. Right? She's more passable. She's more decent. But yeah, so I maxed her out. Maxed her out as in got all her cores unlocked, and maybe 1 or 2 dupes after that. Probably because I failed like 50-50 pulls or whatever. Right. What else? I think that's pretty much all I gotta say about the game. Oh, how much I spent on it? I wanna say 5,000. 6,000. 6. Yeah, I would say 6. No, yeah, I would say 6,000. I would say 6,000. Yeah, Nikke is... I would say for sure I spent more on Nikke than Uma, even though Uma is wild as well. But Nikke, I spent more. That's why I'm like, I need to stay away from it. It's just a little too predatory. Yeah, 6,000. 6,000 on Nikke. Yeah, there's only... Yeah, for sure, Killer D Wife was one of the ones I maxed out a lot of characters in Nikke, by the way. That's why I'm like, it's in the 6,000. But Killer D Wife was just like my starting limited character that I got. Right. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. 8 out of 10, 6,000. My number 1 game at the moment on this list that I spent the most and have the highest rating. Alright, next, that is all for love and hate relationship. Let's go to Wuthering Waves. Yeah, because we're starting from what I like more to, you know, what's gonna be falling down the list, right? So Wuthering Waves is number 1. Everyone should pretty much know, if they know me, they watch me. Wuthering Waves is my first streaming game. The game I chose to use as, you know, my startup stream. Right? Starting my streaming career. Wuthering Waves. It's, yeah, that's why it holds a place in my heart. Granted, it's not really doing so well at the moment for me, story-wise. More of story-wise, but, well, and a little bit of content-wise too. But overall, like, I still like it. I still have high hopes for it to, you know, come back, right? To bounce back. Right off the bat, I have all the characters. I have 7 maxed out copies. Yeah, 7 maxed out copies. Well, 7 characters that are maxed out of their copies. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Only 2 weapons that are maxed out. It should have been 3, but I got lazy and I didn't get Ameth's weapon to be maxed out. But I got Genshi's weapon to be maxed out because Genshi was the first one I maxed out and copies and her weapon copies. Karthia, I maxed out Karthia and her weapon. And then I maxed out Ameth's copies, but I didn't max out her weapon. I don't know why. I must have just brain farted and forgot. But yeah, but maybe when she has a rerun, I'll try to max out her weapon. Oh wait, other than that, I still like the game. Just like I said, my 2 gripes is story and I guess like the content is being a little like lackluster. It's not like it's bad or horrendous, but it's lackluster that it's not drawing attention for me to kind of like try it out or play. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Alright, rating. Obviously, 8 out of 10. It's really hard for me to give it a 9. And now it's not due to because story and, you know, content wise that's rating it a little lower, but it does play a little part in it. So back to Wuthering Waves. Yeah, so pretty much I gave it 8 out of 10, not because of lowering it from the content drought or like not interesting and the story being like bad, right? It being bad, right? At least in my opinion. Yeah, 8 out of 10. And then how much money I spent on it? Man, I want to say like 9. No, maybe even 10. 10,000. Yeah, it should be one of my most spent swiped games. One of the most swiped games is yeah, Wuthering Waves. Yeah, obviously because of many factors. Streaming, first game that I chose to stream on. And like, you know, I really like the game. Like I would say like that's my investment in Wuthering Waves. If it ends the service, I'm like, well, that's just how it goes. Yep. So to reiterate, 8 out of 10, $10,000 on Wuthering Waves. All right, next game, Zelda Zone Zero. Okay, so why is this game the second one that okay, so obviously Wuthering Waves and Zelda Zone Zero, they were pretty much released around the same time, just that ZDZ came out a week or 2 after Wuthering Waves. So pretty much ZDZ is like my bad, ZDZ is like my second stream game, right? So pretty much those 2 are pretty close to me, right? Granted, I spent more money on Wuthering Waves because I like it a tad more than ZDZ, but ZDZ does have a different niche that I like about it. Obviously, you know, the goading part, you know, the more sexier characters, like sexier innuendo type from the characters and stuff like that. At least from the girls. The adult looking ones. Now, gameplay wise, it's fine. For sure, I'm not playing ZZZ for its awesome gameplay. Gameplay is passable. Like it's fun enough. Let's say it's passable enough. And most of the time, I just collect the characters and just level them up, and then just look at them later. Like that's mostly it. I'm just collecting in ZZZ. I stopped playing the story. The last story I finished was actually no, the part where I'm at is at 2.1. Yeah, that's it. So I pretty much stopped playing the story from there. All right. Anyways. Let me think. How much money have I spent on ZDD? If I were to take a guess, 3,000? Maybe 4,000? I would say 4,000. Okay. I know I maxed out a character. I remember because there was one specific character I maxed out. It was Yi. I don't want to take a guess because I'm bad at remember the names. Yeah, I'm just going through Predwin. Oh, Yi Xuan. Yi Xuan is the only character I maxed out. She was the first Rupture S rank character, and I'm like, she's one of the strongest as well. So maxing her out is really good. And also she's kind of like range type, so she doesn't have to do like melee issues to kind of deal with mechanics and stuff. Yep. So she's the only character I maxed out. I didn't max out any weapons. This ZZZ is actually one of the games I don't pull for many of their signature weapons. I may have pulled for the characters, but not the weapons. What else? That's all I gotta say about ZZZ, really. I mostly just play for collection, not really story-wise, or sometimes some of the endgame loops. I mean, obviously I played some of the endgames just to collect, especially notorious hunts, right? Just to collect the mats to level up the characters. Besides that, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say for ZDZ. So I'll give the rating. ZDZ 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I spent like, how much did I say? 4,000, right? Yeah, 4,000. 7 out of 10. All right, next we are gonna go with Genshin Impact. Okay, so this is, ooh. I'll start off with how much I spent on it, right? 10,000. It's just about the same, or maybe a little bit more, the Wuthering Waves, because Genshin was the one I played it ever since release. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on. Granted, I only have one character that I have max dupe on. I chose to go max dupe on, right? Which is Yoimiya. Yoimiya is the only one that, and she's still my number 1 DPS that I use as my main team. Yeah, to play throughout Genshin. Yeah, but besides that, it's like, how is it 10,000 when you only have one copy that's maxed out? Well, it's because in the early days, some idiot, me, thought that, oh, you know what, I can just pay money to buy these bundles or buy these rewards at the shop, so I don't have to grind in the overworld. That's so smart. That's so smart. People are like wasting their time like grinding when you can just swipe, you know, and it's only like an easily $5 to $10 to $15, somewhere around that ballpark. Yeah, and that adds up. I probably spent like 1,000, or maybe up to 2,000 on those resources by the time I realized that's so dumb. That's so dumb. I don't even know why. I mean, I think I know why I did that. I did that because I was pulling on characters, and I was grinding characters to max level, or at least almost max level. It's very tedious, so I think that's why I went the swiping route, the swiping for mats route, like that path, which is really dumb. Advise never to do it. Yeah, but I'll just cut Genshin short. One of my oldest and longest gacha game that I still played. 10,000 or a little bit more money spent on it. I'll give the ratings right now. Ooh. Yeah, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. It's still not a bad game. Granted, what was this a little higher because of streaming bias, right? First game, streaming bias. But besides that, I would say Genshin and Wuthering Waves, they're the same. They're the same to me. They have their strengths and they have their weaknesses. Last character I pulled, for Genshin was it the latest one? Nicole? Yeah, Nicole's out right now. She's really hot. I pulled for her. Just one copy of her and her weapon. A small price of $350. Because I lost 50-50 to her weapon. But not pulling for her herself. Alright, that is it for Genshin. Alright, last two games. CZN. Chaos Zero Nightmare. Ooh, okay, so I really like this game too. This game, I spent a lot of money on this game as well, to be honest. To be frank, I spent a lot of money. Now, granted, gameplay-wise, it is somewhat feels like a turn-based game to some extent, but it's kind of hard to say because you play with like, well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a little hard to explain the combat, but I'll just say it's turn-based, even though it doesn't really feel like it's turn-based. I really like it. The girls are hot. Granted, the girls are more somewhat looking like chibi, chibi versions, somewhat, you know, but they're not really chibi too. It's just that in combat, they're just a mini version of themselves. It's just that when they do like their ultimates or their moves, like a bigger image of them comes up, like the actual image comes up, which makes them look pretty, I guess. All right, but anyways, besides all that, I'll jump straight to the chase. How much I spent on CVN? I maxed out a lot of characters. If I were to take a guess, how many characters I maxed out? 7. 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 characters. Yeah, 8 characters. So that leads me to guess I spent 6,000. 6,000 on CZN. Yeah. Cause I only maxed out the characters. I didn't max out the partners. Yeah, and obviously the characters I max out are usually the ones that I play. There's only one that I'm not really playing that I maxed out, which is Yuki, the longsword girl. That's kind of wild. Because she kind of dropped off meta and she's not consistent enough to do consistent damage. But oh well, maybe she might come back. Maybe they might give her some buffs. Who knows? But overall, my last character I pulled was the most recent one. What is her name? I'm bad at remembering names. I'm really bad at names. Chaos Zero Nightmare. All-Star. No new tag. Do they even have her here? Oh, right here. No. Is it Heidi Marie? Oh, maybe it is still Heidi Marie. Oh yeah, I guess it's Heidi Marie. Yeah, so I maxed out Heidi Marie. She's really strong. Just like Serenio. Yeah, those two I'm like do huge damage. But yeah, Heidi Marie. What's the last character I pulled? So 6,000, right? I said yeah, $6,000. My rating of the game. It is a niche game. To be honest, it's a niche game. So I'm like 7 out of 10. Yeah, I really like it. Now, granted, maybe it might be lower, but I'm just being a little biased. But yeah, it's 7 out of 10. I like it a lot, and I still play it. Right. What else is there? All right, last game. Mongol Star Dive. Now, I'll tell a little bit of the history of this game. In the beginning, also, let's just say, all the top games I played ever since release. Right. Mongol Star Dive. So in the beginning, I came in expecting it to be a 4 out of 10 game. Around there, because when I saw trailers or some gameplays of it, because I didn't want to get too spoiled, I feel like the character models was kind of cheap and kind of like, I don't know, like kind of like just quickly made to just, you know, sell it, right? Just to sell it, right? But when I actually started the game and played it, I'm like, oh, it's actually not bad. Like, it's not the cleanest like Wuthering Waves or Genshin or even like ZZZ, right? They're pretty much the top 3 games here. But overall, it was passable. Like, it was passable. So I guess what I'm saying is it went from a 4 out of 10 from expectation to a 7 out of 10. So right now, I'll give it 7.5. 7.5. Yeah. I'm up to date. There's no side quests. There's no main story. There's nothing to do in the game other than end game grind. So I can't grind for any other like materials that are not end game, right? Or like story stuff. What else? I have all the characters. I did play free to play for the first, I guess I'll even say the first month, the first 4 weeks. And then when this girl came out, I forgot her name. The fox girl, the fox girl. Yeah, I was like, I didn't have enough pulls for her, so that's when I started swiping. So, how much did I spend in the game? I would say 600. Yeah, I'll say 600. That's how much I spent on Mongol Star Dive. Yeah, Mongol Star Dive. Now, a couple of those hundreds, 200 or 300 of those, probably went to Standard Banner because some idiot just wants to pull for Standard Banner because I don't have all the characters in Standard Banner, right? So there's only 2 characters in Standard Banner I don't have, which is Orphelia, which is one of the ones I really want, and the guy, which I'm so glad I don't have the guy because I don't want to play. I don't want to play the guy at all, or any guys in Mongol Star Dive. And I believe I heard they're only sticking to girls. I believe they're not making any guys. I think that's the only 5-star or S-class guy in the game. At least that's what I remember hearing. I'm not 100% too sure on that, so don't quote me on that. All right, anyways, what else is there to say about Mongol Star Dive? Yeah, I just like it. Like it has like the combat style is very similar to ZDZ, so like familiarity, right? So and it's really easy. Now, granted, that also means there's no jump button, so you can't see your waifus jump, right? Or your characters jump. But that's fine. It's a small price to pay for, you know, a fun nerd game. Now, granted, it's more casual, so someone coming in expecting like hardcore grind or hardcore combat or whatever that is, like, nah. It's more casual, which I like. Like, it sets up the theme really early in the game. It's almost like I can kind of see the type of style, right, that the game is going for. Yeah, and which gives me a lot of respect for the game. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, so it's a 7.5 and $6,000. No, $600 on Mongol Center. Alright guys, but that is my tier list of all the gacha games that I have played throughout, I guess, since 2016, right? Ever since I started Exo's Heroes, right? And the last gacha game that I picked up and played is NTE. Yep. So, guys, this was my 2nd anniversary video, and yeah, thank you guys for sitting and waiting and watching for yeah, my tier list. Now, granted, like I said, this is not comparing which game is better to another, right? It's just more like where I'm placing them, why they are there, and where they're at, and how much money is spent on. Now, this is, I'm not trying to flex or anything. I'm just saying at least I'm spending money so you guys will know the struggle of a whale or a kraken to, you know, not follow the same path, because yeah, it's not a good thing. But granted, I love playing gacha games. That's why I test like all the new ones or all these out, and just to kind of get my honest takes on them. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. This is gonna be the end of the video. Thanks guys for coming. Thank you guys for yeah, watching. Hopefully it was entertaining. And yeah, for my 2nd anniversary, this is exactly what I wanted to do, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it and have fun. I'm H2O, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.